let's just say we all lived in a house, right? And we've got a cockroach infestation. We can't really just kill all the cockroaches because there's too many of them, because if we killed them all, they would realize it and they would kill us. How do we get them to stop reproducing? That's the first step.
Yeah.
Let's weaken them up. Let's put chemicals on the ground where they're eating that lower their sexual reproduction hormones, their testosterone. They view us as a parasite that is infesting their world that they have to figure out how to keep from populating, because they've made up this agenda where the world is going to end with the climate agenda if we don't depopulate the planet. That's what this is about. That's what the vaccine was about. That's what this agenda is about. Everything is about getting people to not reproduce. Now, if we were in the house and there was all these cockroaches and we got the population reduced by 50%, we would say, okay, well, there's 50% less of them now. I think we could just start killing them now. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society. And welcome to Mother Freaking Reality. I got to say it different now because YouTube keeps dinging us for the profanity, so we have to change it. I know it's not as cool, but it is what it is. Today, we have Andy and DJ.
Cruise the mother-loving internet.
This is so bad.
Feel right, man.
This is so wrong. I hate you, YouTube.
It's wrong on so many levels.
All right, so this is CTI. That's what Cruise the Internet stands for. We put up topics on the screen. We speculate on what's true. We speculate on what's not true. And then we talk about how we, the people, can be the solution to what's going on in the world today. This is a personal development, business, entrepreneurship podcast at its core. So when you come on here, it's not always going to be current events like it is today. We're going to have personal development. We're going to have entrepreneurship. We're going to have business. We have this other show called Q&AF. That's where you submit the questions and we give you the answers. Now, you can submit your questions a couple different ways. The first way is,
guys, you can email those questions into askandy@andyfrisella.com.
Or you can go on YouTube, now that we're on YouTube, and go under the Q&AF episodes and ask your questions right there in the comments. Don't forget to click subscribe. We also have Real Talk. Real Talk is 5 to 20 minutes of me just giving you some real talk. That's just what I think needs to be said. And then we have 75 Hard Verses. For those of you that don't know, I am the creator of 75 Hard. It is the world's best mental toughness training program. It is the world's biggest mental toughness training program, and it will never be beat, ever, because it's amazing. So it's free too, and that's the best thing about it. So if you go to episode 208 on the audio feed, you can get that for free. But we have this episode called 75 Hard Verses, where people come on, talk about how they were before 75 Hard, how they are after, and how you can make those changes as well. And then other times we have full length. Full length is just where someone comes in and we have a conversation, kind of like what you see on most other podcasts. So for all of this stuff, we have this thing called the fee. We're going to ask you to pay the fee. The fee is very simple. Tell a friend. All right. If we provide value, if we do a good job, if we make you think, if we make you laugh, if we make you have a new perspective, if we give you some information that helps you win, share the show. I don't take ads on the show. You'll notice that. You're not going to hear 30 minutes of me reading some bullshit from some company that's paying me to pretend like I like something. I don't do that. I make money in real life with real companies, so I don't have to do that. And that means I don't have to listen to anything that they say. And so I give you the real AF. That's what the show's called, if you didn't know. So in exchange for that, I just ask that you help share the show. So when we say pay the fee, that's what that means. It means post the show, tell some people about the show, talk about the show. It means share the show. So don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right. So today we have CTI. And as you guys know, we always have a good time doing CTI. And sometimes we have guests. And today we have some amazing guests that we have been blessed with their presence on this CTI. We have Jaimee from Gays Against Groomers. And hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. And we
So
also
excited.
have Becky, who's from Phorm and also Gays Against Groomers.
Here we are.
Yeah. So I'm fortunate enough to get to work with Becky every single day. She's one of my favorite people in the world. And Jaimee stopped in. She came in from Florida.
Milwaukee.
I
Everybody thinks
thought
I
you
live
were
in
in
Florida.
Florida. Yeah.
Everybody thinks that. No, I'm in Milwaukee.
Okay, she came
Soon
in
to be
from
Florida,
Milwaukee.
hopefully.
They got Florida people up there too. Though. Yeah. So just like the Midwest. But here they are. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
First of all, I love being here. This place that you have created is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, everybody should only be so lucky to step foot in here. But I'm honored to be here. Big fan of the show. Big fan of everything you've done. I actually do want to try 75 Hard. I was just telling Becky that I'm thinking about it. I'm a little nervous, but I do want to get into it.
One does not simply try
Right.
75 Hard.
Do.
It takes full commitment.
Right.
Yeah. So when you're ready,
That's Yoda.
when you're ready, we just go.
Yeah, we do it.
We'll do it. So a lot of you guys are probably familiar with Gays Against Groomers. We've seen them come to popularity over the last couple years. Jaimee's been on MSM many times talking about what they do. But for the people who haven't heard or understand what you do, bring them up to speed.
Yeah, so Gays Against Groomers is a nonprofit organization comprised of all people that are in the community, LGB and T people, and we are fighting back against the sexualization, indoctrination, and medicalization of youth that is being pushed in our name, essentially. You see this, it's just an onslaught attack on the children, and they are using us as a shield to do it, and to evade criticism and to silence and intimidate people. So I felt the need to create, every gay person I know in my life, and even trans people, I knew that they weren't on board with this. I certainly was not, never have been absolutely disgusted by what I've been seeing. But we had no real unified voice to push back against this. We were individually, but there was no cohesive message and group. So I saw the need for that, and I created it. And I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. It kind of took on a life of its own very, very quickly. I think that just goes to show how much our voices were needed to help fight this battle. Because, voices like yours and just straight people in general, parents, sadly, they write you off. They instantly call you a homophobic, transphobic, bigot. They're even doing that to us now. It doesn't stick quite the same way. They label us an anti-LGBT hate group, even though we're all LGB and T ourselves. So it's quite silly. But essentially, that's what we're doing. We have, I think, over 800,000 followers across social media now, all organic. Gays Against Groomers, I started at June of 2022. So, we're growing really fast. And it's awesome. And
what inspired you to step up and do that? Because I have been talking for a number of years about the need for people in the gay community to stand up and defend against the infiltration of, the sexual predators that are hiding inside particularly the trans movement.
Right.
Let's be real. Okay. And that's not an anti-trans statement. I'm just saying that's where they hide. That's where they go. And we can see it very clearly in things like, grown men dressing up as women and going to read books to little kids with no underwear on, and or just in general.
Yeah.
Right. What was the thing? Because you've taken a lot of heat. You've had to put up with a lot of stuff. A lot of things you didn't really have to do. So what was it that made you step up and do this?
Well, for those that know me and have known of me for a while, prior to Gays Against Groomers, I had an account, I still have it, called The Gay Who Strayed. And I was kind of doing that since 2017, and it was basically me being a right-wing lesbian. So I've always kind of been pushing against the grain. It's just my nature. Even before that, in my personal life, that's what I do. I don't know. It's my nature. But so I had built up this following. I had 250,000 followers on that account, and I was getting really tired of the politics. It was just the same thing every day, posting memes, posting news. Nothing was really changing. And at that same time where I was feeling really tired of that, all these videos started coming out of these drag shows with kids, and seeing the curriculum in the schools, and seeing these young children being put on puberty blockers and having their healthy body parts amputated. And I was just one day I was you know what? I have this platform. I can't sit by and not try and do something with it to fight this, because I'm in the perfect position to do that, and there wasn't anything. So the one I'll never forget, it was the one video that really pushed me over the edge to actually do it. It was the one, I think it was in Dallas. that drag show with the kids walking down the runway, and behind him was that pink neon sign that said it's not going to lick itself.
Yeah.
I saw that and I created the account. I came up with the name, I created the account, and that's how it started.
Well, I think there's a true real danger, right? When people talk about violence against that community, right, being lumped in, and then I think the hard line that most parents and just regular people would take against the grooming of our children, it's like there is a danger there when it is all being lumped into, right, against people who are in that community. And so it's like there has to be some type of differentiation going on. So it's like, because obviously generalizing it is not okay.
No.
It's not all gay people. Everybody understands that. But it's like, how do you
I don't think
identify
everybody
that?
does understand.
No, they
No,
don't.
they
And
don't.
that's what's happening. The backlash against all of us is growing.
Yeah.
And so I've always said since day one, like, Gays Against Groomers' mission is first and foremost to save these kids, protect the kids. But we also are here to help ourselves and save ourselves, because the backlash against us is growing. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out why. But people are assuming that all of us are on board with this. And that's why, you know, Gays Against Groomers is so important for many reasons. And that is a main one. We're worried about that.
Yeah.
You know, we just achieved our equal rights, which was a just fight. We fought for that. We got it in 2015 nationally, you know, federally. And as far as I'm concerned, we should have gone home and packed it up. But not even a decade later, now we're here and you know, we're losing our good standing in society because of these predators and pedophiles and disgusting people. And I want to say it's also, you know, these industries, every major industry in this country is pushing it as well. It's not just people, you know, there's
simultaneously.
there's like a fringe minority in our community that are disgusting and actually are on board with this. But you look, it's the medical industry, it's the education system, it's the White House, it's the media, it's corporations, it's everything is pushing it, but they're using us to do it. So we're being, you know, we're all being lumped in with it. So I had to draw a big red line, and I was like, no way. I'm not going to let this continue.
That's what got me to start speak up about it too. You know, I started recognizing that, like, because, like, you know, with the where I stand, you know, I'm exposed to people on all parts of the spectrum politically, from the far left to the far right. And I started noticing the backlash starting to boil, right? Like, I started hearing people who 3 or 4 years ago would not say anything about gay people starting to, like, have biases against the gay community. And that's what started to get me to speak up about it. And that's why I started saying things like, hey, you guys in the gay community better wake up, because the backlash is going to come and swing for you guys when it's not you guys. And so I think it's great that you, I think it's great that you stepped up and did this.
You know, a lot of people can see they can differentiate, but a lot of people don't. You know, they just don't think that much about it. They just see rainbow plastered everywhere going after kids, and they're like, so, you know, it's hard to even blame people that for starting to think more negatively about us, just because that's all you see.
Yeah,
that's all you see.
You see the rainbow shoved in your face everywhere you go, and then every time there isn't a quote unquote rainbow event, it's not like it was 10 years ago where gay people are walking down the street arm in arm with straight people saying, hey, we just want to be treated equal. Now it's people in BDSM gear or this fetish gear
with kids
walking down the street with kids with their dicks hanging out. Like, this shit's it's gotten insane.
You know, we got to talk about the parents too.
Yeah.
Like, why are parents? I try and tell them, like, please, this is not what you think it is anymore. You know,
but they're
like,
virtue signaling. Like, they take their kids to these events because they think that's how they show their support for the gay community.
Yeah.
But like, we don't want anything to do with that because it is such a fringe minority of the gay community. But I think most people are like me and Jaimee here. Like, even whenever I heard about Gays Against Groomers, because my mom told me about Gays Against Groomers, and I was like, I don't want to be associated with a bunch of gay people. Like, like, I am gay people, but I'm like, no. And then I looked and I was like, oh, other people like me actually exist.
Like, normal people that are actually also gay.
Yes.
Right.
Like I didn't know that they were out there.
Identity of the world.
Right. I was like, I'm not part of this. Like I might be who I am, but like I'm not associated with that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's so many of us, which is why our voices are so necessary.
Yeah. It's a big deal, dude. It's a big deal what you guys are doing.
We're trying.
Massive
We're
deal.
trying. They're pushing back very hard.
Yeah,
they
it's
don't like
weird.
us very much.
Yeah, but we have to look at the pushback and be honest as a society. Like, why would a group of gay people who say, hey, we don't want children to be exposed to chemicals that are preventing them from going through puberty or having their genitalia mutilated or amputated, which cannot be fixed, or groomed by grown men dressed as women, why would anybody push back against that unless they were part of that?
Exactly
the point.
Yeah.
It's like a
100%.
self-admission. The only people that are against us, it's like, why are you telling on yourself? Like, I've never seen so many people openly out themselves as groomers and pedophiles and perverts. You know, we have this special skill of just making them expose themselves.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and all these people are the ones who started saying groomer is now an anti-LGBTQ slur.
Hell no.
Because we started calling them groomers and like, well, you're slurring against gay people. No, you're exposing yourself if you think that that's a slur.
I think it's actually really offensive that people say that groomer is an anti-LGBTQ slur because they're basically saying that all of us are on board with this. You know,
Right.
like that going after children is somehow part of being like gay.
somehow synonymous
now.
with the LGBT
Right.
community.
And
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, I never consented to any of this. None of us did, you know, like, and it's really funny, you know, the fact that they call us, if you go to our Wikipedia page, it's really insane. They call us an anti-LGBT far right, you know, hate group, essentially hate organization. And it just goes to show that's literally the only line of attack that they have, just name calling. And it doesn't even make sense. We're literally all gay and we have multiple trans members as well.
Isn't
you know?
it interesting how anybody that's associated with the right, it's automatically a hate group?
We're not even right wing though. That's the thing.
I know, but like
But yeah.
think about that. And
Oh,
then
no,
also
100%.
think about like how you don't hear them ever talk about left-wing hate groups,
Right.
right?
Antifa,
which are
BLM.
legitimately the most hateful people
Yes.
on the planet. Okay,
Well, it's up and down. Up is down, down is up.
bro. The thing
Yeah.
is, the left is not the left of 10 to 15 years ago, like people think. It's gone to full communist, and they have a number of hate organizations on that side, and everything on the other side that's not with that is labeled as hate, right? Like if you're not with that, you're hateful, or you're a bigot, or you're you're some sort of immoral subhuman parasite, right? And it's also interesting how the mainstream media makes it seem like gay people can't have right-leaning views at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Like
it's
being gay,
bro.
well,
It's the
same thing they do with black people.
I was just gonna say
Right.
that.
It's identity politics.
Yeah, it's
It's all
the
it is.
exact same thing they
It's
do.
so
with
insulting because they're like, you know, we can't think for ourselves. We can't have our own
Yeah.
opinions. You know, it's just,
Yeah.
I've always felt like from
Yeah.
the left, that coming from the left is so insulting
Yeah.
for not just gays, for any minority.
Yeah,
you know?
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But speaking, so you brought up your Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
So I
a
was
good time.
I was doing some little bit more digging, right? There's a Facebook group actually that's building against Gays Against Groomers.
Is it
Really?
really?
Yeah.
Wait, this is my first time hearing
yeah,
this.
so they actually it's called
Oh,
Gays
nice.
Against Groomers.
Okay, but is that not horrifying? Because that's saying
It's so crazy.
those are gay people who want to groom. If
Right.
you're against groomers, what
Well,
the fuck are you saying about yourself?
so the group was created.
No, we're
by,
saying we want to groom children.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Well,
It's sad.
okay, all right. So we're gonna do a little quick poll. Okay, so Christine McCauley.
Yeah.
This is
Hi,
a
Christine.
trans woman.
Okay.
So
Of course it is.
It's a man.
Oh.
Nice.
Wait, but she's not even sorry, they're not even gay. They're trans, right? I mean, who knows? But I mean, it
No, that's
wow.
actually
Maybe they'll be just as successful as us. I don't know.
They won't be.
I wish them
They
well.
won't be. I don't.
dude. Look, I saw a clip yesterday
Goodness.
of a trans woman with a beard.
Mm.
Okay, so a man with a beard,
Right.
right, who's dressed in women's clothes.
But has a beard.
Yes,
Okay.
talking about how nobody else can identify who is a lesbian and who's not, other than yourself. So this is a man dressed in women's clothes talking about how he's a lesbian.
It's ridiculous. This is why the T should not even be included in LGB. Like, there should
Yeah.
be a delineation between lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans, because trans is not a sexual identity. Trans is a mental disorder. And, like, we can call it what it is,
Yeah.
but, like, it's not the same. Like, we have a sexual identity. They have a mental disorder. They don't
Well-
belong
Well,
with us.
they should have never been lumped in together because gay is about who you love or who you're attracted to. Being gay or being bi, and being T, being trans is who you believe you are, and it is one of your recent
It's
videos.
sexual
you
identity
opened up
versus-
the DSM-5,
Yeah.
or 4 or whatever
yeah.
it's called, yeah.
And everyone's like, that's so outdated. And I was like, yeah, they changed the definition of it to
Right.
make it more culturally acceptable and
Yeah.
less offensive. Like, they changed.
Isn't that funny how like everything else has been the same for years?
What
Like,
happened? Yes,
Coach
but they
trusting the
says-
changed
science.
gender
Yeah.
dysphoria and being transgender from a mental disorder to something less now
Well,
to
yeah.
keep up.
If genitals don't affirm someone's gender, then
Right.
how do removing genitals affirm someone's
That's
gender?
the multi-billion-dollar a year question.
Yeah, why if there's no
So
such
the-
thing as a binary, why is there only 2 options whenever you go to get a gender reassignment surgery?
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. Like it's all circular logic.
Yeah, and it's low IQ
That's
shit.
why they have to
Yeah.
call you names
That's
because
why
they
revert to
cannot
that.
have a conversation. Their logic just collapses into itself,
Right.
So it's quite unfortunate that there are so many low IQ people that are,
It's just the nature of non-binary is binary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
to say you're non-binary means you're binary. Like it actually means
You're affirming what you're saying doesn't
Yes.
exist.
what you're saying there's binary and non-binary. And by saying you're non-binary, you're actually putting yourself into a binary system of binary and
Yep.
non-binary. It's this or that.
Yeah, it hurts my brain.
Yeah, well, that's because yours works.
I mean, medically transitioning, it's transphobic, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's claiming that, there's only 2 genders. I mean, why switch from one extreme to the other? There's only 2. Yeah.
It's a ridiculous argument.
Yes.
Transitioning is
Yeah.
transphobic.
And here's what it is, and this is really what it is. I'm sure there's people out cross-dressing and all that. That's what it used to be called. And
Existed for years.
That's existed for thousands of
Yeah.
years, bro. And actually, people have never really had a problem with it.
No.
Like it's been accepted
Right.
in culture for long. Maybe you don't. Maybe you get some weird looks, but bro, you're 6'7", 240 pounds. You're gonna get some weird looks, bro. All right, let's be real. You're walking around with a wig and some high heels. You're fucking look like LeBron James. Like,
Yeah.
like this shit's you're gonna get some looks. All right, but the reality is there wasn't like hate. It was now because we have grown men who are dressing as women and who are talking about the normalization of pedophilia and the grooming of children. Now it's creating this, and by the way, appropriate discernment and sometimes hate against these people.
Yes.
And dude, it's appropriate. It's an appropriate response.
Well, these
we have
people-
to fucking protect these children. These children are little bitty innocent creatures that are being preyed upon under the guise of some diversity or some sort of feeling that the adult has, right? Like I'm talking about my sexuality and what I like to do to a fucking 3-year-old, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this is absurd shit and it's inappropriate any way you slice it, by any way, shape, or form. You could call it whatever you want. You could call it what they call it. You could call it, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that this shit does not have a place in society, not in a functioning society.
No, absolutely not. And especially not near children. Like, it was never an issue, like you said, until they started wanting to put it in curriculums and educate children about you can be whatever you want to be. You can be a different gender. You can be a they person. Like, it was never an issue until they started bringing it to children. And
Yeah.
now they're creating a dangerous situation for not just the children, they're endangering themselves, and then they're endangering the entire LGBTQ community, because a lot of people think that we are guilty by association when we're not. We want nothing to do with those people, which is why we have to fight so hard against it. That's why we have to exist in the first place in the fashion that we do with Gays Against Groomers.
Well, and that's the point. Like the history in general, because pedophilia is not a new thing. And they've tried to normalize pedophilia multiple points through history, okay? There's things we can look back to, like the Weimar Republic in 1930s Germany, where they were trying to normalize pedophilia, and the backlash response went against the whole gay culture there, okay? So, like, we have to be able to identify and discern what's actually going on, who the actual guilty parties are, and for that to happen, people like you guys and other gay people have to stand up and say, no, that is not what we are with. And the fact that people would stand up against it in any way, shape, or form and say that you guys are wrong in your beliefs just proves that this is what these people are actually trying to do.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that they ever expected to have to confront other people in the community that were against it. I don't think they saw it coming.
No, because it's always been love.
Right.
And it's always been acceptance.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And so I think we really threw them off guard, and they've been trying to figure out how to deal with us ever since. It's kind of a double-edged sword for them.
Yeah.
But, it's sad that we even have to exist. Back when we were fighting for equality and even before us, like our gay and lesbian elders, that were just trying to like live their lives, be able to love who they love and live a normal life like every other American. We could have never predicted this coming, and I have a lot of resentment towards the people in our community that are pushing this. As well, because they're kind of like proving the slippery slope to be correct.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Which is so upsetting and disappointing and honestly devastating because, I remember sharing a meme back in like 2014 or something that said the gay agenda was like literally just to like watch movies at night and like go buy groceries. And that's what I thought it was. Like that was my agenda, and so it has been totally co-opted, and they're proving all of these people that warned, gay marriage, what's next? Pedophilia.
Right.
And
they're
it's like,
them right.
Yeah, they are. And we don't, that's why I say we really represent the majority of the gay community. And I believe even trans people. I really do believe that.
No, I think you're right.
Where we really just want to live our lives, but they are used. I always say, I try and emphasize so much, we are being used as a shield, and they're throwing us under the bus because it is hurting us. It is hurting us, and it is hurting the children. And, we're less important than the kids, but like we got skin in this game too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who have more traditional views that were scared of this happening, who are now saying, see, I told you this is what they were going to do, and it's unraveling the support within their family networks.
Yeah, and you look at the data. I mean, the backlash is growing, and it was growing, I think, even before the attack on kids. Like you say that this is all due to the kids being pushed on kids, and I think that's about 90% of it. I think I think people just shoving it down everyone's throats.
People were getting tired of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be real. Like, I'm just going to speak real. I'm fucking tired of it.
No, I am. June is my least favorite month.
Dude, I got tired of it like 3 years before this shit started happening.
Same.
And it wasn't like anti-gay shit. It was like, motherfucker, like we have a whole month for people for who they like to fuck. Like, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Like, that makes no sense.
Yes.
Like, it's who you like to have sex with, bro. It's not a big deal. That's a small part of your identity and your personality. And we have a day for memorial veterans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, dude, that to me always irritated the fuck out of me. And then when I would get pressure to put the rainbow on all my shit corporately, and I never did, I would always get hate.
Good for you.
Yeah, but like, dude, I don't believe in that. I believe in the American flag.
Yes.
I believe that flag represents all of us.
That's the true pride flag.
Yes,
and it does.
That's the only,
So I feel like anytime, the reason I've never done anything like that is because I feel like anytime that you chip off into these other areas, right, what you're doing is diluting the message of what lots of people have died for and given everything for.
Yep.
Which is an inclusive country that, good people work hard to create good things, and, bad people, we fucking deal with them.
These people have to invent their own oppression at this point. It's like truly first world problems. Like, we have it so good in America, gay people and even trans people. We all have it so good in this country. Why don't they ever talk about the gays in the Middle East that are being thrown off buildings? They don't want to go work on
prison or whatever.
Right. Whatever.
Dude, I think a lot of what they're doing with this gay agenda, the reason it's getting so much hype and blown up so hard is because it's highly agitating to people, and they don't want people to notice the literal invasion that's happening in our country right now.
Yeah.
They are trying to get people to argue over this while they invade our country through the border.
Well,
that's
it's definitely something to argue about, though, because especially with the children, like, we have to focus on this. They're trying to molest children, but like I totally get that. It's also, they're doing this also. There's
it's
many
a real
reasons.
issue.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not, but what I'm saying is it's getting so much press because it's always look here, not over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys something. Do you guys so this currently is the universal flag for the LGBT?
No, I think you're missing something.
I'm sure I forgot something off of there.
But it's not your fault. It updates every 5 minutes.
That's not that flag. That's the anti-white flag. That's what that is. That's all people but white people. That's what that is.
No, you're kind of there. You're right there.
Nah, bro.
No, that's the trans.
Yeah.
That's trans.
That's part of the trans.
That's all protected communities except white people.
Yeah.
Okay? I do have a real question.
Okay.
But what does the circle mean?
That's intersex people.
Okay.
I hate that I even know what these things mean.
Well, I mean. Listen,
yeah.
But my question is, so if this is, we talk about being able to differentiate, who's in, who's out, I guess, what should there be another flag? Should there be a new flag for you got the Gays Against Groomers.
There should be only one flag.
Yeah.
The American flag?
It should be called American flag.
Yeah.
Like, bro, there should not be 7 flags for every fucking bro, think if I ran around with a flag and said I'm straight. Like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense, bro.
It's
an absurd thought.
And people hang this on their houses. They put it on their cars. They get tattoos of it. Because they have so little personality.
Yeah.
They have so little character that they build their entire personality in character.
About who they like to have sex with.
Exactly. And if I see someone who loves this kind of stuff, I'm like,
flag.
okay, you have zero depth of character to you if this is your entire personality. That's embarrassing.
I like to take things and look at them from the other point of view, right? Like, if there's this, what's the opposite of that? Okay, so even before this crazy flag that legitimately does represent everybody except straight white people. Okay, so
that's real shit.
Jaimee likes to call things the way they are. Like, she doesn't say gender affirming care. She says mutilation of body parts and the amputation of penises. Okay, so I'm going to call that what that is.
Please do.
That is the everybody but straight white men flag.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Okay, and that's what I'm going to call it from here on out. That's what the fuck I see when I see that. All right. So when we think about what's actually going on here, and we think about the entire play that they're trying to run, we have to understand that their play is to get everybody out here in the world to fight while they destroy our environment. Not our environment in the way of Greta Thunberg. I mean our actual world.
Yeah.
I mean our economy, our history, our culture, everything that we have here in America that we all have loved and appreciated about this country for 248 years, okay, they are destroying while we argue. And like, to your point, they have made real problems for us to argue about. Like, dude, that guy right there that you post that picture of, that person 10 years ago would already be in jail, right? Because we would have said, oh, that person is advocating for grooming. Let's go ahead and look at this person's email history and their drives, and they would be in jail.
One of our favorite slogans is we always say, "What's on your hard drive?" in response to anybody that comes out against us.
I heard you say that the other day.
We have merch that says, "What's on your hard drive?" Because for real, there is no other reason to oppose us unless you have an interest in
children.
Yes.
Dude, it's weird to me that someone would publicly oppose, not knowing, not realizing what you're actually saying about yourself. How that's viewed to everybody else out here is, holy shit, this person is legitimately openly advocating for pedophilia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they take such a long-winded approach to their justification of it, saying, well, shouldn't children understand that, they can grow up to be all sorts of different ways? Shouldn't children understand there are lots of different family types? Shouldn't children understand this, that, and the other? And I think that it's a poor argument to make because, a lot of family structures exist. Yeah, there are all sorts of types in the world. But that doesn't mean that you should be in a classroom telling a little boy he can be a little girl and telling children, hey, some people have 2 moms, and then they start asking questions. And that's not an age-appropriate conversation.
Or changing their name behind the parents' backs.
And hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's jail, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should go straight to jail for that.
Yeah. Well, guys, listen, we got a great show. We got some other good topics to get into. But yeah, so let's get into this. Guys, remember, if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them there. You can also drop down in the YouTube description below and find them linked there as well. So with that being said, let's get into our first headline.
Let's do it.
Headline number one. Headline number one reads, UN General Assembly. What to expect as world leaders gather this week.
What to expect?
Yeah, what to expect. There's a lot here. There's a lot to expect, actually. You got Confused Joe. Let's talk about him. Did you guys see the video? He walked into the flag.
No,
I didn't. I missed that one.
Oh, well, guess what? I got it for you. So there's a lot. There's hookers. Did you know that every year or every time they do this UN assembly, it's like for 2 weeks long, there is a massive influx of adult sex workers, escorts.
How do we know this?
Oh, because the sex workers talk about it openly. Oh. Yeah, they're like, this is the most money-making time of their careers for most of them.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because all those people are disgustingly ugly people and they all have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
It's our money. It's our money. Yeah.
I think calling them sex workers might be a little generous because the reality is there's probably human trafficking going on at these events.
For sure.
100%. No,
and
that's
I
real.
don't think it's all consensual.
That's real.
I think there's trafficking.
For
sure. Listen, that's absolutely real. Absolutely real. But let's get into this because there's a lot of interesting, some behind the scenes closed meetings that are being had during this thing. So let's talk about this a little bit. But first, let's get into Biden. Confused Biden walks into flag, then appears to anger Brazilian president with handshake snub at United Nations. So here's the video. This guy went from bumping into the Brazilian flag to not being able to put his earpiece in to completely leaving Lula hanging, literally. Let's watch this video.
Well, if it was literally, it'd be doing the world a favor.
The Republic of Brazil, accompanied by the Director General of the organization.
Come on, bro.
And to say to President Biden, can you hear me, President Biden? This is a historical moment for Brazil and for the U.S. President Biden, can you hear me? You can? Yes, good.
Oh, my God.
And so there's the U.S. delegation that is here with me. I'd like to greet my wife that is also here. I'd like to greet the Brazilian trade unionists that came to my invitation by my labor minister. And also
what an
like
embarrassment to our country and the presidency of this country.
Facts.
Does his famous salute to nobody and leaves him hanging.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, personal opinion. I think that they want America to look weak as shit
100%.
on the global stage.
100%.
That's the only reason why they are bringing Joe Biden out at this point.
Yes.
Because they want to destroy the image of America.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Andy, how many speaking events have you done?
Thousands.
Have you ever gotten mic'd up while you're on the stage?
Dude.
Yeah, that's odd.
Listen, Becky, you're 100% right. This is the intentional demoralization of our country in the world's eyes.
Yes.
This is about making us look like assholes to everybody. 100%.
On our dime.
100% that's what that's about.
It's crazy. And so, like, then you got Zelensky, right? So he wanted to go speak to the House of Representatives.
Yeah, they told him no.
They told him no. That was great.
Really?
But he did get a meeting with somebody. You guys want to guess who?
Soros.
Oh, it's bigger than that, man.
Kevin McCarthy.
Vladimir Zelensky holds secret New York City meeting with private equity bosses at J.P. Morgan, Google, and Blackstone to discuss rebuilding war-torn Ukraine.
How about we rebuild poverty-torn America?
Yeah.
How about that?
L.A., Chicago, New York. Yeah, so Vladimir Zelensky attended a secret roundtable in New York City with the nation's top financiers, including private equity bosses at J.P. Morgan, Google, and Blackstone, to discuss rebuilding war-torn Ukraine. The meeting was hosted by the nation's largest bank, J.P. Morgan, on Wednesday evening and included Google CEO Eric Schmidt, billionaire Mike Bloomberg, New England's Patriots owner Robert Kraft, and hedge fund billionaire Bill Ackman. It apparently, allegedly, former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger was there, and billionaire Barry Sterlich were also in attendance, and that's from CNN. So, you got that. I think this whole
how the fuck is Kissinger still alive?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
surprising.
he literally 100 years old?
He has to be.
How old is Henry Kissinger? I think he's 100 years old.
I just don't understand how
he's
much.
100.
He's literally
is he literally
100 years old. So we have the elderly, weak people of this entire world all gathered together to talk about how they're going to fuck the previous, the next up and coming number of generations. Like, do you think these people are going to be dead? Like how? Like,
yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, they have no. This is not anything other than how do we preserve our wealth for our children, not us.
Yeah,
it has nothing. It's how do we take from the peasants and keep the wealth in the hands of our children coming behind us. Like What business does a dude who's 100 years old have with anything?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I think it's extremely alarming because they do this stuff in front of our faces and so openly at this point.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care anymore. Because,
they don't have to hide anything.
Because it's like, what are we going to do? You know? Like, they're stealing all of our money and sending it to Ukraine. They're destroying our country on purpose. They're making our country look weak on purpose. They are completely destroying what is the United States of America. And they're doing it in front of our faces, basically laughing at us the whole time, saying, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And everybody else thinks that it's all going to get fixed magically because Trump's going to come back and fix it.
No, one person can't fix this. It's an entire country that has to change.
Mm-hmm. It's a culture. It's a cultural change that's required. You know, it's not a revolution like we think in terms of revolution. It's a cultural change where people wake up to the reality of how they want this country to be, start living that way, not sitting on the bench waiting for someone to come in and fix it, and actually produce the outcome in their own lives that America should look like at scale. And then that catches and that starts to become what America is. And when that becomes what America actually is, then these people hold no power anymore because everybody looks at them just like we look at them and says, no, fuck you, right? And dude, that's what America used to be. America used to be a place where, you know, we had no problem telling people, no, we're not doing that. And we've gotten bullied and pushed and subverted and abused and manipulated and lied to and confused to the point now where people don't know what's actually true. And they're so afraid to speak out against anything because for the last 10 years, anytime you spoke out, you got quote unquote canceled.
Yes.
Well, they can only cancel you if you stop. That's what people don't understand.
Right.
Like, okay, so they cancel you.
Ooh.
Yeah, then you show up the next day and keep going. Like,
Right.
that's what happens. Like, you know how many times I've been canceled? Fucking all of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, bro. You show up the next day and you keep going. And if we're really want to change things, we have to start becoming in our own individual selves what we believe this country should be and behaving as such. And when we have people who are doing that, other people see that and they start behaving as such. And then we look at these people and they don't have any power because anything they say, we just ignore.
Yeah.
Right. But we got to get there first. And that's going to take people being autonomous in their pursuit of freedom. It's going to take them taking responsibility for their own freedom in their own life and being willing to stand on it on an individual level. And right now, we have an abused population. We have a population that is no different than an abused housewife or a beat dog that is afraid to come out and say what they really want to say, when in reality, this right now is the time to come out and say whatever it is you believe that you stand for.
Yeah, and everyone is just counting on a few individuals to speak out, like you or Jaimee or myself. Yeah, I know you know. And they hit you with, I love what you're doing, and I wish I could do it. I wish I could share. I can't even share this because, you know, whatever the reason is. Okay, that's the reason why we're in the position that we're in, because everyone is so beaten down by political correctness. Everyone is so conditioned to believe that whenever they speak up for what they believe in, whenever they actually have a rock to stand on, that they're going to get quote unquote canceled. Canceling someone is imaginary. It doesn't actually exist. They cannot cancel you.
Yeah.
You
I had
cancel
a guy on a coaching call last night that I did that mentioned, you know, he said he was in a very liberal tech industry aspect and that, you know, he agreed with everything that I stand for and say, but, you know, because it's very liberal place, you know, he can't, it's like, man, I fucking went off on him a little bit. I'm like, dude, I'm like, do you know what you just said to me? Like, you just told me that, okay, I can come out here and take all the fucking arrows, but you're not willing to take any. So you're asking me to come out here and, like, bro, you think I don't have shit to lose? You think I don't have shit on the line? I got more shit on the line. Every single motherfucker speaking out on this motherfucking planet. I got more shit to lose. More shit than all of them. That's real shit. And I still come on here and do it every single day. And, like, dude, it irritated me immensely to even hear that from somebody. Like, you're going to look me in the face and say that you're too afraid to speak up when I've been speaking up for you this entire time. Like, all I'm waiting for is you motherfuckers to join me.
Yes.
That's all I'm waiting for. If you all joined, we wouldn't be in this situation. That's the problem. That is the entire problem that we have going on here. People will not stand up and have courage and say, this is what I stand for. This is what I believe. And I don't care what you think about it. If you don't like it, don't buy my shit. Because that's what I say every day. If you don't like it, don't buy my shit. But if you do like it, buy my shit, because there's a whole bunch of people telling people not to.
Right.
You know?
It's real, man. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Hashtag cornpop. Let us know down there in the comments. But before we get to our second headline, we always we have this little new segment we put in. We're going to cruise the comments. So this comment is coming from Boost Hub 3143. Andy, it's for you, man.
I never know what I'm going to get here.
Yeah, it's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
This comment from YouTube from Boost Hub 3143 says, is Andy the Florida man of his family, or is it Sal?
It's definitely me.
Oh, you're not even going to deny it.
It's definitely me, bro.
So that's you.
It's definitely me. Yes.
No, what makes somebody the Florida man?
Here's what I'll say. Here's what I will say. You put 3 or 4 beers in Sal, and he becomes exceptionally Florida-y really quick. Right? Like, real quick, bro.
All right. Well, listen,
Yeah.
no denial here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yep. It's
You guys got Florida men in your family? Do you guys know what we're talking about?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
These
Yes,
people. You
I
got
think
one
we
of
all
these in
have
the
them.
family?
yeah.
Apparently everybody does.
Yeah.
I think mine is my
You
dad.
can always identify the Florida man because he will always say at least once, hold my beer. Always. At least once.
Well, there you go,
Yeah.
Boost Hub.
Yeah, I would say it's me.
There's no shame.
Yeah. And I think most of my family would say it's me.
It says you too.
Yeah. But I think Sal would be real close if we just gave him like 3 or 4. He likes to drink Bush. So if I gave him like 3 or 4 Bushes, bro,
It's
that
over.
little corn alcohol gets in his blood. He starts becoming a little Florida man. Like,
Sal, where'd you get this
good
accent
shit.
from? Love it, man. Well, guys, as always, we just want to say thank you guys for being real ass fans out there. Keep liking, keep commenting.
Don't forget to hammer people that talk shit either. Thanks, guys.
But let's get right back into it. We got headline number 2. Headline number 2 reads, watch, Texas liberals pray for drag queens and divine diversity.
Oh, God.
You guys seen this?
I actually think we did. I saw this. We
Okay.
tweeted about it, I believe.
Yeah, so let's dive into this. So a bizarre video reportedly from inside the Cathedral of Hope Protestant Church in Dallas, Texas, showed scores of drag queens watching while the congregation prayed for divine diversity. Here's the video.
We recognize that all people are made in the loving image of God, no matter who they are, how they dress and express themselves, or who they love. We celebrate this divine diversity and commit to lifting up the voices of the LGBT+ community and creating spaces where everyone can thrive.
Drag queens are often targets of hate and violence.
For no reason.
Yeah, right.
Resilient people who show us what it means to be truly authentic and expressive. We honor their strength and pledge to be allies.
Bro. And they say that we're in a cult.
Right.
It's disgusting.
This is like creepy.
What are they contributing to the world?
This is some creepy shit.
Very, very disturbing.
This like seems like an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Like, for real, bro. You throw some music on this shit, we're winning an award for it.
Yeah, and the Grammy goes too.
Yeah, that's right. M. Night Shyamalan, man.
How is it not a cult?
The way it is.
Dude,
Like-
how do they call us a cult? Like, how do they, like, you're chanting shit. Like, and also, let's be real, like, it's like the 2 biggest pedophile groups endorsing each other.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, right.
Fucking honest.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
What? What?
No, nothing. That's it.
You're not wrong.
Oh, well, you know what? I told you I'm not a conservative.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
No, it's the truth, bro. And like, that's one of those things. Like,
People
I mean,
get pissed off. They all say, "Oh, Andy's fucking super right wing." Well, there you go, motherfucker. Have a
Merry
biscuit.
Christmas.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Happy Hanukkah, guys.
It's
Yeah.
so disturbing, though. Like, why? We've just gotten to the point where this is. It blows my mind that this is what people are actually going along with. They think that they have to literally bow down to drag queens at this point. I mean, they think that they have to put us on a pedestal, put them on a pedestal. There is no hate and violence. I mean, maybe there is hate, but like you said, it's warranted at this point.
Here's the thing. There is, before this kid shit started up, no one gave a fuck.
No.
I didn't care, bro. You want to be a drag queen? Dude, I used to, listen.
My uncle's a drag queen.
No, listen, bro. I used to work at this bar called Jordan Creek in Springfield, Missouri. Okay, it was the biggest bar in Missouri. We had a great fucking time there. I lived there. We ended up having a loft there. Okay, next door there was a bar called Martha's Vineyard. All right, and Martha's Vineyard was a gay bar.
I've been there.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's a great bar.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, it's a great bar.
Yeah.
Okay, and the dudes that owned it at the time, they lived there as well. So they had a loft where their deck was, they could see our shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we became friends with these
You
guys.
see each other's decks.
That's right. We saw each other's decks. Yeah. Hey,
I'm sorry.
hey, we had a bigger deck. All right, I'm just saying. If we're going to talk about it. All right, but here's the thing. Like, bro, we would go in there and they would have drag night, and it was fucking awesome. Like, it was awesome, dude. Like, we would go in there. It was fun. Like, the guys were cool. Nobody fucked with you. They were fun. They just dudes that happened to be gay that were in there having fun. And, like, it was normal to, like, hang out with these dudes. And nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
And it didn't become a thing until this thing where they were, like, in the schools with the kids. And I actually, to further your point, I actually think that most drag queens aren't even part of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, dude, when we're talking about, like, how far this has progressed, you know, like, I'm not some crazy, like, anti-drag queen, like, fucking far-right bigot. Like, bro, we just
all the
want
things they say we are.
Yeah. We just, but here's the problem. By the way that this is being instigated and promoted, it's creating that. Because now it's taking people like me who, you know, have had the experiences I've had, which have all been positive, and being like, you know what? F this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like, that's the problem. So they're actually, it's not that there was hate, it's that it's being created by their behavior.
They call us anti-LGBT and you and everybody, but that is actually what is anti-LGBTQ. They are turning people on purpose against us because they're pedophiles and they're doing whatever they can to get it through at our expense. And you're so right. You know, we're at the point now in this country where, like, literally 95% of the people do not care what consenting adults do with their lives.
No.
Nobody cares.
The battle's been won.
Right. Like,
Right.
okay, we're past that now. You know, that's why I say they're finding new ways to be oppressed. Like, they need to be oppressed. There's, you know,
Well,
victimhood is a currency in this country. But they're just, if they just leave the kids alone,
They won't.
nobody will care.
They won't.
That's all you have to do.
They won't, because that's not the battle. The battle in our mind was always, you know, just like treat people nice and like be cool and have the same rights. Like, that was the battle, right? In your mind, in all of gay people's mind. And even in, like, I would say, because I'm a centrist, I think, in my views. That's what I was always like. I was always like, why the fuck why should they not have the same rights as anybody else? Like, that doesn't make sense. And what's actually happened because of this is that now we have people who, you know, like you said earlier in the show, who were like, you know, advocating for that, now regretting their advocation for this progress, and all that progress is being undone. And it's sad. But the reality is, you know, when it comes to the battle, you know, where we thought the battle was won, right? Like, where you thought the battle was won, where, like, most people are cool with it. It's we're dealing with some assholes sometimes, but guess what? There's assholes that hate everything about everybody at some point. But that's not the battle for them, the globalists.
Right.
The globalist battle is to depopulate. It's to create a situation where people cannot repopulate.
Yep.
So they have taken this battle where it should have been won, and instead of saying, okay, everybody's equal, now they say, okay, we're going to make more gay people. We're going to make more sexually castrated.
Well, they are literally
beings.
castrating.
Correct.
Yes. I think that's a huge
But
motivation
they're
behind
doing this because that's their agenda.
Sure. of
Right?
course.
That is the real agenda that's being pushed because, you know, typically 2 dicks don't make a baby. All right. And typically 2 vaginas don't make a baby. And people who have their dicks cut off definitely can't make a baby. Right. Or their vaginas closed up definitely can't make a baby. So this has gone from this social argument that we all, participated in our lives that should have been won 5-10 years ago. To now it's become something else.
It's an ideology.
Yeah,
it went from a cultural, like, hey, let's get basic rights.
It's coming from the most evil people on the planet.
Yes.
It's coming from people who think that we are less than them, and they're saying, okay, like this would be no different. Like, let's just say we all lived in a house, right? And we're all living in a house, and we've got a cockroach infestation. And we can't really just kill all the cockroaches because there's too many of them, because if we killed them all, they would realize it and they would kill us. Okay, so how do we...
Strong ass cockroaches.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. There's only a few thousand of these people.
Yeah.
There's 8 billion human beings.
Right.
Okay, so let's just say we lived in a house and we knew that if the other cockroaches saw that we just started killing them, we knew that they would kill us. Okay,
Yes.
so what would we do? We'd say, okay, well, how do we get them to stop reproducing? That's the first step.
Yeah.
Let's weaken them up. Let's figure out how we can get them to not reproduce. Let's put chemicals on the ground where they're eating that lower their sexual reproduction hormones, their testosterone, and let's make them not attracted to the males, not attracted to the females, or not able to reproduce because we'll feed them this poison. Right. And then, let's play some videos, because these cockroaches are smart, dude. They can watch videos. Let's play some videos that talk about how, it's not cool anymore to mate with the female cockroach. What's actually cool is to mate with, to go with the men, and the women go with the women. Like, do you understand what I'm saying here? That's what they look at us like. We are misunderstanding the way that they view us. They do not view us as equals. They do not view us as people who are on their level. They view us as a parasite that is infesting their world, that they have to figure out how to keep from populating, because according to them, which isn't true, there's actually a population problem in terms of we don't have enough people. Like Elon talks about it openly, and it's true. But they've made up this agenda where the world is going to end with the climate agenda if we don't depopulate the planet. And so the purpose of all of this shit is all towards that. That's what this is about. That's what the vaccine was about. That's what this agenda is about. Everything is about getting people to not reproduce. And then once they get people to not reproduce enough, then the population goes down. Okay? Now, if we were in the house and there was all these cockroaches and we got the population reduced by 50%, we would say, okay, well, there's 50% less of them now. I think we can just start killing them now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's where this is going.
Exactly.
And that's what people don't understand.
Real shit, man. I want to get another take too on this. When it comes to this, the grooming on the kids, one thing that I've definitely been seeing is like a massive rebellion from the kids themselves.
I love seeing that.
That's
I love
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but this headline reads, hundreds of high school students organized walkout to protest trans bathroom rule. Rights are now compromised. So hundreds of students from Pennsylvania's Perkiomen Valley School District walked out of class Friday after the local school board failed to enact a policy requiring transgender students to use the restroom corresponding with their biological sex. Quote, kids were upset. Girls, we wanted to protect them. They were upset. They didn't want men in their bathroom. John Ott, who organized the walkout, told Fox News on Monday. Here's the video.
Bro, this is amazing.
It's so epic.
It's awesome.
That John Ott, that kid's a hero.
Good for them. I mean, kids are naturally rebellious, right? You shove anything down their throats enough and tell them to do this, they're going to do the opposite, and I'm glad to see this.
This should be happening
Reality
everywhere.
is winning.
Yeah.
They get
Dude,
it.
These kids have more courage than the parents in this country right now. If the parents in this country had the kind of courage that these kids had to walk out,
this wouldn't
be an issue. But all these parents are freaking cowards.
That's what I was trying to tell that dude on the call last night. I'm like, bro, if you guys would just join in,
yes,
like if you guys would just join in, this would stop. like tomorrow.
Right.
But they're also afraid. They all think they're all waiting for their.
Afraid of what? Afraid of that?
Exactly.
Yes, there's kryptonite for these
What are we
people.
afraid of?
They're scared of being called a bigot. And it's so pathetic. It is genuinely pathetic, but this is how these people live. They're scared of losing friends, family, for somehow coming out against, just I don't know. It's
highly
mind-blowing.
immoral, disgusting shit.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and they think because they're straight that they don't have a place to speak.
And the
they're
Overton
waiting-
window keeps getting pushed further and further and further, and they just keep staying quiet. And
Like,
it's
you parents out there listening to this, if this is going on in your kid's school district, you cannot wait for someone like myself or like Jaimee, like your common sense neighborhood gay, to show up and save the day. Like, we can't do it.
Super gay.
Joe, delete that shit.
No way, dude.
That's good news against me. No, that's real. That's real though, man. I think it's just cool to see.
No, I love seeing that.
And I can't wait
A
to start
hand
seeing more.
gesture, bro. What's this? What is that?
That's
That
the
was very
super gay.
homophobic of you.
Is that the super gay hand sign?
Yeah, that's how he goes
That's
to save the day.
universal, bro. Come on,
How do you know?
it's universal.
Amongst whom?
It's universal amongst those who are universal.
You learned,
Guys,
that, you learned that when you were a police officer, bro? Is that the training?
Yeah, hey,
I'm giving you an out, all right?
listen.
I'm trying to blow
It's
your
universal.
cover.
Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know what you guys
DJ the
think.
Big Bear.
Hashtag Kids Against Groomers. Let us know.
I
what you
love
guys
that.
Dude, I freaking love it.
I love
Dude.
that.
Awesome.
They got to start their own thing. I love
Yeah.
that.
I want to see this in every single school across the
Tag.
country.
Bro, this should be in every single school. This should be in every single place of business.
Yes.
This is what should be happening.
You cannot wait for someone else to stand up and initiate this. You have to take the initiative yourself to start this in your place of business or your school or your community or wherever it might be. Like, no one's coming to save you. You need to get up and save the day yourself. There I go with the superhero thing again. You got to get up and do it yourself. Don't wait for someone to
facts,
come in.
though.
Like, do it. Just like this kid John did.
Yeah.
Just stand up and go.
And
Just
people
go.
will be so surprised when they do stand up how many people will be behind them and how
Huge.
many people will follow in their footsteps, because courage is contagious. People often wait for that first domino to fall. They don't want to be the first one. But then as soon as they do, you are going to the support that we get is far outweighs the hate. And people, other gay people and people in the community are telling us, like, thank you. Like, I feel like I can speak up now.
Yes.
You have to just do it. Like, just rip the Band-Aid off. It's not that bad. You're going to be fine.
You might be surprised.
Yeah, and you will be surprised at the support that you get and the new friends. If you're worried about losing friends, whatever, like, they're not your real friends if they're going to ditch you over that. I've gone through that so many
fuck those
times
people.
now with being on the right, whatever. But, you're going to...
Jamie, I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no.
That's what you always hear from these people.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed in what you said. Well, then fucking turn it off.
Yeah, I had a bunch of old high school friends whenever I started posting, especially for Gays Against Groomers, DMing me. They're like, Becky, I love you. I'm so disappointed. I was like, did you know
go
you don't have
cry
to follow
about
me?
it.
Did you know you can just unfollow me? Like,
Yeah.
you can click that button. You don't have to stay here.
It's
Like,
weird how
bye.
many people think their disappointment affects us.
I
Yeah,
don't
like
care.
it matters.
It
at all.
they think it matters because it matters to them.
Yes.
Because they've spent their whole life working to have the approval of every single person around them, and which is the exact reason why they don't have any courage.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about, I didn't spend my life thinking like that. I never worried about the people around me. I worried about doing what I thought was right.
Yep. Same. I think
Yeah.
everybody in this room has that mentality,
Yeah, I thought I was going to lose followers whenever I started posting, and the exact opposite happened. I was like, I have to say what I have to say because I have a very specific voice in this fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I was like, I feel obligated as, a gay person who is also a mother. Like, I have to use my voice because I have such a unique standing point here. And I thought, I'm for sure going to lose my platform. I'm going to lose all my followers. Like, I'm going to lose my friends.
Bro,
And-
you came to me and said, hey, man, is this cool? And I'm like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Keep going.
the opposite thing
Yeah.
happens. Like, the
Yeah.
complete opposite. Like, it's not as bad as you guys think out there. It's really not.
I feel like a lot of your listeners kind of get this.
Yes.
That they have this mentality, but there are a lot of people that really just need to put it into action. They
Yeah.
want to. They're like tiptoeing towards the edge, about to do their
Well, I actually think the people that listen to this show are the action takers. I think we're talking to the
Yeah.
people who can swing the reality of what's going on if they would just get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a lot of people who listen to the show who are very open and understand what's happening right now, that, are much further ahead than a lot of the other population. And so that by default means that you guys listening are going to be the people who are going to change this or allow it to continue to happen. And I hope that you'll stand up and do something to change it, because that's why I do this.
Shit, man. Guys, let's get into our third and final headline number 3. Got to get an update. Russell Brand situation. A lot has happened. Russell Brand sexual assault allegations live updates. This is from New York Post. Piers Morgan releases government letter demanding tech firm punish and cancel actor.
Yeah,
and
this is scary stuff coming from the UK
all just on accusations.
Government. Yeah, no, I know.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Wild. So let's dive into this. So Russell Brand has, of course, been accused of raping, sexually assaulting, and abusing 4 women over the course of 7 years, including a 16-year-old he allegedly called the child, according to a bombshell investigation published on September 16th. The British actor and comedian, who's 48, denied the report prior to its release. Since the allegations broke, interviews have resurfaced showing Brand's ex-wife, Katy Perry, and his, quote, forgetting Sarah Marshall co-star Kristen Bell discussing his behavior years ago. And his YouTube channel has been demonetized. So this is the tweet that came out from Piers Morgan. He tweeted this out saying, quote, the British government writing to tech firms demanding they financially punish and cancel Russell Brand before he's been through due legal process over the allegations against him is a very disturbing Orwellian development. So this is the letter. This letter came from the Culture, Media, and Sport Committee from the House of Commons in London. And they're writing, they put all this in you know, nice British, polite, you know, commentary essentially here. But saying, one of the parts I'll read here, it says, quote, we would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content, including his videos relating to the serious accusations against him. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. Quote, we would also like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Yours sincerely, Dame Caroline Deniage. And Rumble responded. Okay, now we all know Rumble. I don't even know if you call them a right-wing platform, right? They're just a platform who respects our freedoms,
rights.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
you know. And so Rumble responded.
By the way, we're on Rumble.
Yeah, we are on Rumble.
You guys can listen on Rumble or watch on Rumble as well. That we did do that.
Yeah, just solely for that.
Yeah,
reason,
it's recent.
man.
It's recent, but we are on there.
Yeah, you know, but Rumble responded. They refused to do it. They wrote this letter. This is coming from their CEO. It says, today we received an extremely disturbing letter from a committee chair in the UK Parliament. While Rumble obviously deplores sexual assault, rape, and all serious crimes, and believes that both alleged victims and the accused are entitled to a full and serious investigation, it is vital to note that recent allegations against Russell Brand have nothing to do with content on Rumble's platform. And they go into it. They conclude by saying, although it may be politically and socially easier for Rumble to join a cancel culture mob, doing so would be a violation of our company's values and mission. We emphatically reject the UK Parliament's demands. So that's happened. He's even have people, Catherine McPhee, she came out because there was this, you know, they tried to pull this when he was on Jimmy Fallon's show.
Bro, they're making it so you can't even have fucking fun anymore.
Exactly. They
like you can't even have fun. We have women across the fucking world complaining about how men won't talk to them, men won't hit on them, men won't ask them out. This is why. You can't even have fun. You can't even go to a party. You can't even joke around or whatever. And it becomes, you know, this.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, but like he's gotten people that's coming out to support him, right? Like, so Catherine McPhee, she said, Russell Brand had her sit on her lap. She's saying that was completely harmless. And they're trying to use this as like one of the things, like, see his behavior, see how bad this guy is.
I guarantee you they called her and they said, what did you think about Russell Brand's inappropriate actions towards you on Jimmy Fallon's show? Mm-hmm. I guarantee you that's what they said.
Something to that effect.
Bro, who the fuck are these people think they are? Like the way that letter was written that they wrote to him, like saying, we would like to know, man, you know what? We would like you to shut the fuck up. How about that? Like, dude, these people are
Don't worry about Prince King Charles or whatever.
Listen, the tone they use is representative of how they view us. They view us like we are not allowed to operate outside of whatever they seem to believe is the right thing to do. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? You're some person who was born into wealth, who got a position in some sort of powerful government, and now you're writing these passive-aggressive letters to companies saying, we would like to know. You would like to know, or what? What are you going to do? How about this? How about fuck you? That's what should be said.
Very, very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. But, I mean, dude, they've even canceled all of his fucking tours.
It's so scary because this is literally, they're just allegations. He's already been tried and hung in the court, you know, the public opinion, and that, well, they're trying to. I mean, a lot of people are like, wait a minute, you know, but the people that are in charge and controlling things, I think they're trying to set an example using him, unfortunately for him. But
it's not gonna work.
If the allegations are true, that's one thing, but you cannot do this to somebody just based on allegations with no proof.
Yeah, but they do this over and over again. They've been doing this for years. This has been going on for 15 years. People just don't want to talk about it. Like, bro, anytime a man steps out of line in any way, it always comes into the sexual inappropriate action or this or this or this. And it's like, dude.
Unless Andy, not to cut you off, but unless it's a drag queen.
Yeah.
Unless it's a drag queen.
Right.
Well,
no
why
shit.
would these women wait so long? That's what I don't get with these cases.
Because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's not that they wait so long. That you're misunderstanding how it works.
No, I'm saying if it was real, if it was true.
But what they do is they go through and they start finding people from your past, and then they offer them money to talk about it.
Right.
That's how they come up with this shit. Okay, so they go on and they start digging through people's past relationships and their past friendships, and they find the people that, just like every human being on the planet, that, you know, we have people from the past that don't really care for us. That's why they're in the fucking past, okay? And then they pay these people, or they offer these people something to then spill the tea, right? And this is what happened. This is what happened to Eric Greitens, okay, who was running for Senate here in Missouri, right? They went back, they got his wife to say some shit that wasn't actually true. They ran it through the press, and by the time it came out that it wasn't true, the damage was done and the race was over. This is how they remove people who are making an impact from the playing field. And we could go down the list from, you know, Russell Brand to, you know, fucking everybody. It always comes back to the sexual allegations. Like, bro, these people want to talk about sexual allegations so much, but they don't want to talk at all about the things that you guys are fighting for every single day.
Yeah, none of those sexual allegations.
Predator, like, dude, this is absurd shit. Okay, this guy's a Hollywood actor. Do you know how many fucking women fucked this dude because they wanted his money, or they wanted his fame, or they wanted his whatever like, bro, this guy probably has a body count that is thousands and thousands of women long, okay? And they went out and they've gone through that list, and they found a few people who are willing to say, yeah, you know.
That's the surprising thing. Like, we tell you, like, this rock star type of dude, you only got 4 women out of his past. That was it? Just 4?
Well, it's because Russell Brand also is speaking out. You know, he's joined like the brigade of the kind of rhetoric that you talk about in exposing, you know, the elites and kind of pushing back really hard. And he has a huge audience now. You know, I mean, he's been famous for a very long time, but he's kind of shifted his entire career and just outlook and what he's vocal about to, you know, this kind of discussion now. And they don't like that, obviously. So they're trying to get his head.
Dude, I can't stand this shit. The whole Me Too era and the, you know, believe all women era. Oh, we're gonna believe all women, right? Like, this is, they're telling all the truth.
They don't believe themselves.
You lie every time you leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this shit is out of control. Unless there's actual proof, photographs, evidence, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Say whatever you want to say about the man. I still like him. I hope he wins. And honestly, if they don't have real shit here on him, he's gonna get bigger and bigger because of it.
True.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I would love to get you guys' take on this, but, like, I mean, we got to look at the other side of this too. I think we covered this on last episode, but I would love your take on it, is like the damage that this actually does to real instances of sexual assault, of rape, right? When we can play this, you know, the boy who cries wolf, you know, on these things and destroy these people And when the stuff comes out, once the facts come out, oh, that didn't actually happen. What is that? What message is this sending to people or women, men, doesn't matter, who are actual victims of sexual assault and rape?
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's horrible. You know, anytime you accuse someone and it's fake, it only weakens actual victims. You know, because they're not going to be. There's a lesser chance they're going to be believed or taken seriously because they do this over and over and over again, and it really, I think, weakens people that are actually being abused.
Yeah, of course,
and it's sad. It's kind of like, you know, the same thing they're doing to us. They say that they're helping us.
That's what they do
and
with
looking
racism.
Yeah, exactly. They don't care about any of us. You know, they just use us to advance their agenda.
Yeah,
at the risk and at the you know, other people being hurt in the process.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated.
Bro,
I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff happening.
This is bullshit. Like, dude, women have to start standing up against this shit, not just men. You know, like women have to stand up against this and call these other women out. Like, this is bullshit shit. Like, you want to know why you don't have any dates? You want to know why men aren't chivalrous? Why they don't take you out? Why they don't ask you out? Why they would rather just go watch porn and leave you the fuck alone? This is why. Because they're afraid that if they do anything, if they go on a date with you and they kiss you and then eventually you guys break up, that you're going to make some story up about them that's going to ruin their life. That's what men are afraid of. And until women stand up and say, hey, that's bullshit, okay, and start calling these other women out who do this, this will continue. And the culture will continue to be messed up, all right? Women who make an accusation of rape or sexual misconduct that cannot be proven should have to serve the sentence of the accusation. That would stop this shit immediately. It's absurd. It's gotten way out of control. It's affecting culture. And by the way, what doesn't happen when men won't talk to women?
Procreation.
That's correct. It goes right in line with what we're saying about the other thing. They want, this is what they want. God, dude, that last topic just pisses me off, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
Because like every single fucking dude on the planet is at risk of false accusations if at all times. And like, dude, it's so easy to ruin someone's life by just saying some bullshit.
Wasn't there that case where a girl accused this college student of rape and he ended up killing himself?
That happens all the time.
Yeah, no, and that's only one you heard
that
of,
happens,
you know?
That happens.
And it wasn't true. He never did anything.
That happens all the time.
But he like got kicked out of he got expelled. He lost like all this. I mean his friends, you know, like totally ostracized, and he killed himself.
Dude, women, this is a women leadership correction that's needed. Good women who want men to be men and come to them and take them on dates and treat them right and shit. If you want that to start happening again, you have to call that shit out.
Yes.
That's what has to happen. Women have to stand up for the men that are getting accused by all this shit. You know, that feminism bullshit that went popular from 2015 to 2020, where it was, you know, Me Too, and if anybody ever flirted with you, it was sexual harassment, like all this shit, that has caused a huge rift in society where men now will not even with women anymore. They don't even want to.
They're terrified.
This is what's produced.
And they should be.
This is what's produced the entire quote unquote red pill community, which by the way, them dudes ain't wrong. They're not wrong. They're talking about reality and women don't like it. You know, they're talking about how bad of a deal it is for a man to invest in a woman these days because of how vulnerable a man is at all times. Like if you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing or just do something that they don't like, they can accuse you of something and ruin your life. You know, if they marry you and you marry one of these women by accident, they could take all of your shit. They can take all of your money. They could, like, dude, and this woman could be a total piece of shit herself. And the way the laws are written and the way everything's written is completely unfavorable to men. And that's reality, dude. And until we start talking about real shit, this problem that women are complaining about not being able to find a man is going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. Because men, and this is bad, I'm not advocating for this, but young men are giving up the idea of having a wife and having a family for the idea of just becoming successful and running around and dating a bunch of girls and, you know, just living a playboy lifestyle, because they realize that if they go the other way, they could potentially be ruined at every turn for trying to do the right thing.
Yep.
It's a very bad problem in society, and it all comes from this feminist Me Too bullshit that women need to stand up against.
It's real shit, man. Guys, that was our third and final headline. It is time for our final segment of the show. As always, we have thumbs up or dumb as fuck. So we bring a headline up, it gets judged, and we decide if it's thumbs up or if it's dumb as fuck. So with that being said, our thumbs up or dumb as fuck headline reads, "Are they barking mad? Hundreds of people who identify as dogs gather to bark and howl at each other in Germany."
Jesus.
Well, I got the video.
Let me guess, they're part of our community now too.
Yes.
They're going to be added to the flag.
They are, because look at what it says. It says around 1,000 trans species activists.
Oh.
So we're going to have that included in the flag too.
Can't wait. No. New update coming in 10 minutes.
No shit.
Yeah, so hundreds of people who identify as dogs have met up in a city center in Germany where they communicated.
This is trolling. This is not real.
Bro, it's real.
No, it's not.
It is as real.
This is like a Mr. Beast troll.
Oh,
no,
man.
it's real.
It's
real. And all these freaks who used to hide. No, not sorry.
No, it's
all
real.
these freaks who used to hide this shit in their basement, like they feel so emboldened now to go out in public and feel like they're going to be accepted being weird like this. Like,
no way.
Things really started going downhill when the insane asylums got boarded up.
Yeah.
Facts.
Like, honestly, if I were president, day one, I'd reopen all the psych wards and just put them all. Like, you gotta go.
I would open them. I would reopen them too. And like right when you go in, there'd be a wood chipper. Like
Cafeteria this way.
It would be like one of them fake houses. Like come in our magic house, and you would just walk in the front door, and it would be over. Yeah,
right.
Dude, this trans species stuff, like this is a
wild.
real thing that's up and coming. Like I think it started with like the pup play. Like you see these guys who like wear like puppy masks and stuff. But jeez, I just hate to see it, man. It's so gross.
It's so bad. And we're supposed to like
completely normal human
we're
beings.
supposed to be in the same community and kumbaya with people like this. These
we're
people
supposed
are
to
insane.
pretend like this is normal shit.
No, and now we got kids at schools who identify as kitty cats and they want to pee in a litter box and the schools are bowing down to it. It's disgusting.
There's this viral photo of like some little girl at a Pride Fest with these puppy play things, pup play things, and she thinks it's all, her innocent mind, she thinks this is a cute, oh look, doggies, and they're just sick fetishists with this kink that are around children now. And I don't understand how any parent can think that it's okay to bring their kids there. I don't think that these things should be happening at all anymore, that these parades and fests. And
I agree.
It's enough. Cut it off.
I agree.
No.
I say lock up anybody who tries to bring a kid in.
I say lock up anybody who brings a kid in, lock up anybody who's publicly nude in any way, shape, or form. Like, this shit is absurd, bro. Look at pictures of us from 50 years ago to now.
I was just gonna say that.
Like look at the
human
videos.
decency.
Yes.
Just being a decent person.
Look at the way they dressed.
Yeah.
Look at the way they behaved. Look at the way they talk to each other. Look at the way they treat each other. Look at what we're doing now. This is
the
fucking
decline
embarrassing.
happens so fast too. It's so scary to think like, where are we going to be in another 20 years?
That's because they've used it in the internet and weaponized it. Like that's how they've advanced this culture so quickly.
Yeah, here's the video, guys.
Oh God.
Oh, I saw a pride flag.
Of course.
Yeah. Great.
We need to bring back bullying in a very
Yes!
serious manner.
I always say that shit. Make bullying great again.
What do these people do? Like,
I don't know, man, because here's the other, I looked into this, not for personal reasons, but like to get more research on the story. This shit can get pretty expensive. Like those costumes and stuff, like that stuff's not cheap. And I don't understand how
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Why okay, let's just say like the people who like to do the cosplay, right? Like they like dress up as their favorite superhero or whatever and go to these conventions.
Yeah.
Like, which I actually think I think some of these people do.
Some of that's pretty cool.
Badass shit. Like I'm like, damn, dude, that's fucking cool. But like these guys are doing that, but then like it's becoming like this sexual thing on top of it. Like what the fuck is that? Like how like I don't get it.
It's sexual to start. It's like a very obscure kink and fetish to dress up like an animal and then like do sexual play with it.
Okay, so like they get naked and like do stuff together.
I don't know what they do, Andy.
Yeah.
I've never been
No,
there
I'm just
before.
saying. Like, but that's we're assuming, right?
I can only assume so much. Yeah.
So like there's when I'm being serious. So there's a sexual component to this.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just a component; it's the foundation.
No, that's
of it.
that's what
Okay,
it is.
so that's what it is.
No,
It
they're
is
not
fetish.
just.
Okay, so
Exactly.
these people are putting dog masks on and fucking each other.
Yes, that's
Okay,
exactly what
got
they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, like
I just, if you do go to a Pride Fest now, I went last year actually to just see what it was like and see if there were kids and stuff, because I had just started Gays Against Groomers, and it is just completely filled with people like this, and they have butt plugs with a tail butt plug, and they just walk around like that, and there's children there. I mean, and even if there weren't children there, just keep this in your house.
Yeah, like, dude, if you
I don't want to see it.
if you want to be a freak, but like keep it in your house. Like, there's absolutely no reason to take this out to the
Seriously.
streets. There's no reason for it. I hate this.
there is a
picture
reason
so much.
for it.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
we understand
Yeah.
that, but
And they get celebrated. Like, they're celebrated for this, and
Well, I actually think that's a lot of why they do this thing. I think it goes along with what Becky was saying earlier about them lacking any other components of having an actual
Yes.
personality. And I think that the reason that a lot of these people make this their identity is because it's literally their only way to be relevant in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form.
well, it's a complete
They never
social
got-
contagion.
Yeah, they never got celebrated for 17th place back then.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, that's real shit. So what are we giving this, guys? Thumbs up or dumb as
Dumb as
fuck?
fuck.
I hate it.
I
so
don't
much.
even like the word dumb as fuck. I want to say like degenerate,
Yeah,
embarrassing.
yeah.
Bring
Dude,
back
it's
bullying.
awful.
it is embarrassing. Like it's
Yeah.
like I keep looking around at like the world, and like when I see like this kind of stuff, or like just the culture in general, like and how men dress now, like dude, there's men walking around right now legitimately in matching like tops and bottoms, like sweatpants shit, right? That like 30 years ago would have been seen as like the shit you wear around your house that you want nobody to see you in. And now that's like fashion, right? Like
Right.
it would be cool if we could get back to like traditional fashion and like wearing a suit, dressing nice. Like, I'm not saying I don't need to wear a suit to work every day. I work in an athletic company. All right. But like, there's something to be said for an orderly civil culture that I miss a lot. And
Yeah.
like this stuff
There's
is
a standard.
This stuff is embarrassing, dude. Like think if we took one of these people from 50 years ago who was 20 years old or 25 or 30 years old, and we take that person and we transport him into the 25, 30-year-old culture of today. Like they would look around and be like, this is fake. This
They
is
look
not
around
actually.
and say somebody closed the insane asylum.
Yeah, yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit.
People stopped punching each other in the faces at
Yeah.
some points, and
Yeah.
it shows.
Yeah.
It's real
Dude,
shit, man.
it's I feel like I was born in the wrong era, dude. Like
Yeah.
real talk. Like the wrong era. Like this stuff is disturbing, it's frustrating, it's demoralizing, and it's disgusting. And like I'm tired of seeing it. Like I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but like that's why you were born in this era, because like we
So what,
need
what did I do wrong in the last life? Holy shit.
no, like because we need people who can actually stand against this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I think
well-
a lot of people like me and Jaimee, like fuck, we don't feel like we belong in our community anymore. Born in the wrong era, whatever. Okay, no, but we're here for a reason because the world needs us to stand up and speak out and take charge against
Super
this and
gays.
fix it.
That's right. Can I join your super gay team even though I'm not gay? Yeah. I can make
You're
a guest
a
appearance,
lesbian,
right?
Andy.
That's
You
right.
can
I am
be
a
a
lesbian.
lesbian if you want
I am
to.
a lesbian. I'm
Right.
raging lesbian.
You can be you can be whatever you want to be.
Yes.
Well, guys, Andy, Jaimee, Becky. That's all I got.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate
Thank
you
you
guys.
so much.
Keep up the great work. Where can everybody follow you guys at?
GaysAgainstGroomers.com. Go there. You can find out more about us. You can donate. We're independent, totally grassroots, and there's you can see where to follow us on there too. So just GaysAgainstGroomers.com. And thank you so much. I had a great time.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Give them a little scratch if you got it too. These guys, they're trying to do good work. They're trying to fix what's going on, and I know money's tight right now for a lot of people, but let's give these guys a little help. They get villainized by everybody. So What about you, Becky? Where can people follow you?
Primarily on Instagram, if you can find me, if they let you search for me. It's just my name, Becky_Weiss_. Easiest can be to type in, but I'm constantly getting buried in shadow ban. So if you can find me, that's awesome. If you can't find me, best of luck to you. But you can always find me through the Gays Against Groomers page as well. I post on their page.
Yeah, we post her all the time.
Pretty regularly. I've been on the page for at least a year now, over a year. So you can find
Becky
me there.
_WEISS_.
That's correct, yeah.
Sweet.
All right, guys, that's the show. Appreciate you guys. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.